My name is Emma Smith. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and I have been teaching in Leon, Nicaragua since August of last year. I originally took the TEFL course online and then went to Leon, Nicaragua to complete the hybrid program there and complete my practicum in Nicaragua. Before moving to Nicaragua, I graduated university in 2014. And after that, I worked for a couple of years. I've in the recruiting field. I worked vending at music festivals as well, and decided that it was time for me to go abroad to teach English. I am a American citizen, United States citizen, and I attended the University of Georgia in Athens, and where I studied anthropology and graduated in 2014 with my Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology. I was super lucky throughout my undergrad that I got to travel quite a bit. I did my study abroad in Amsterdam in 2011, and I lived there for about 6 months. And besides that, every summer I was backpacking as much as I could. Every break that I had, I would try and go somewhere. So I was super lucky that I had a lot of international experience before I decided to move to Nicaragua. The places I've been super fortunate. I've been to most of Europe, Asia, Myanmar, Thailand, Japan, Morocco in Africa, some parts of South America. Been to Argentina and Central America. I had been to Central America before I came to Nicaragua. I had done Panama and Mexico, and right before I decided to move to Nicaragua, I had actually done a 2-week backpacking trip through Costa Rica and absolutely fell in love with it. Fell in love with the culture, how laid back everything is. And that really sparked my decision to move to Central America. And I eventually picked Nicaragua because of how inexpensive it is to live there, the need for English teachers, and I also really wanted to learn Spanish, and they had really good Spanish language schools in Nicaragua. I always knew that I wanted to teach English abroad. It was not really a question of if I was going, but when I was going to go. To me, it seemed like the most practical way to travel and immerse yourself in a culture and work at the same time. One of the best ways to meet people from different cultures is to it's to work in the culture and meet people through jobs and schools. So teaching English to me made the most sense because I could stay in one place but have the ability to move around if I wanted to. But I did end up staying in Leon, Nicaragua for my entire time there. I chose the International TEFL Academy. Last June, I just did a precursory search of different language academies and how one does get TEFL certified. And the International TEFL Academy was consistently the highest rated. When I entered information that I was interested in talking to someone, they called me that same day. The recruiters that I spoke to were all super knowledgeable. They knew exactly what they were talking about, and they had information on specific countries, and not only like visa requirements, but like what it takes to live there, what you need to live there. And I found that information extremely helpful in making my decisions. So when I was in Nicaragua, I worked at 3 different language academies. I worked at a private language academy where I was teaching students from ages 8 all the way up to 17. I worked at a car factory where I was teaching employees their English, and then I worked at a Saturday language academy as well. My TEFL training helped me immensely as a teacher, not only because of the skills that you learn, but also just the experience of having already did my practicum in Nicaragua. I knew specifically what the students needed. The learning about different activities helped as well. Any teacher knows that sometimes in class you have too much time or not enough time, and one of the best things to do to fill that time is to play games with students. It's one of the best ways to actively engage learners, especially young learners that I was working at. And the International TEFL Academy in Nicaragua gave me a plethora of information and activities that I could play. And I had activities just on the top of my head. I knew exactly what to do if I didn't have enough time, from board games to games that you have to pre-plan a little bit. I always had activities at the tip of my tongue. So that definitely helped me a lot in my current job. Um, so to find my job, I arrived in August of 2016 and I took the hybrid course. And I was super fortunate that during my course, I was offered an interview for a language academy. So I was super fortunate that I got one job before I even graduated from the hybrid program, which is not always going to happen. Most people do need to have enough money saved up that they will be okay, because usually the job search in Central America is going to take a couple of months because it's all about the connections you make and who you know. So I got one job straight away, but it was just a Saturday job, so it was not enough to, pay the bills. So it took me about 3 more months to find the additional two jobs that became my study stream of employment. And I got those jobs simply through networking. I contacted people through email and then I would follow up in person. You do have to be kind of persistent. It definitely is not the same in America. You can expect the same kind of quick response that you might get, but just being constantly aware of needs that different academies and language programs might have, and just always asking people who's hiring, and just having that information really helped a lot. And so yeah, so I asked a lot of questions, kept my contacts, and just stayed in touch with them as was needed. So I absolutely loved the three jobs that I had. My favorite was definitely teaching adults because all of them wanted to be there and they were super engaged in the learning process, which makes your job as a teacher so much easier. But I loved teaching the kids as well, specifically the high school kids that I taught. A lot of them, it was a private language academy in Nicaragua, so a lot of them had prior English experience. They were pretty advanced, and the conversations we were able to have in my class were really, really cool. They loved talking, they loved sharing ideas, and I really tried to make my classroom a safe space where everyone's ideas were appreciated and we could learn English and grammar through communication. So I put a major focus on production and specifically getting the students to speak. And then after they spoke, I would try and go back and make corrections. But to me, it was more important for them to get their ideas out, make sure they know that it's okay, that when you're learning English, you're going to make mistakes, but that they were in a safe space. And I loved creating that safe space in my classroom. Um, so the International TEFL Academy in Nicaragua is fantastic, primarily because of the community that they have created there. There's a Facebook group for alumni and people who are currently enrolled in the class, which is invaluable to teachers who are looking for jobs and who already have a job, but maybe you're leaving and you need someone to cover your shift temporarily, or you're leaving Nicaragua and you want someone to find your job. I ended up going back to the States so that I could attend grad school. I left a couple of weeks ago, and it was right in the middle of the term, which gave me a lot of anxiety because I didn't want to leave my students without a teacher. But through the alumni network in Nicaragua, I was able to find teachers to cover all of my classes very, very easily. If I ever had to take a sick day or if I had to do a visa run, it was very easy to find other teachers who could cover my classes too. They also really helped with resume and cover letter guidance. The instructors there sat down with you and gave each person who was in the academy individual instruction on how to make your resume and your cover letter the strongest that it could possibly be. They're very knowledgeable about information regarding visas, how to find work, who to talk to, and they really want you to get a job. Wherever it is, they're super supportive, and I really appreciated it, and it really helped me on my journey there. Um, so as far as where I was living in Leon, Nicaragua, which is on the northwest side of the country. I was about 20 minutes away from the beach, which I absolutely loved. And I was very fortunate that I found an apartment that I fell in love with about a month after living there. It was a shared living quarters. There were about 20 other people living there, primarily expats, but also Nicaraguans as well. And I was right in the center of town, which I loved. So it saved me on taxi prices and I got to walk everywhere. I was paying a little bit more than is the standard for rooms there. I was paying $200 a month, which for someone in the States, that's still super cheap compared to rents in the States. But I had friends who were paying around like $50, $60. So it just depends what you want and where you want to live. The cathedral in Leon is kind of the most central point, and I was about a block from there. And to me, that made the most sense because I love walking. I love being able to get wherever I can go without having to use public transportation. So if you're open to public transportation, there is accommodation you can find away from the center. Maybe it's like a 20-minute, 30-minute walk, and it's going to be much, much cheaper for you. So it just depends. You just have to weigh out the pros and cons. My most memorable experience of living abroad. So Nicaragua is, I think, universally known for its beautiful, beautiful geography. You have beautiful mountains, great hiking to the north, and beaches to the south, lakes all around you. It's known as the lands of lakes and volcanoes. And I really enjoy hiking. So one thing that I really wanted to do while I was there was hike a few volcanoes. So I think it was the second volcano I hiked. It's called Talika volcano. It's about 30 to 45 minutes outside of Leon. And I went up there with two friends. We hiked up during the day and pitched a tent at night to sleep there. And when we had been hiking all day, so all of our clothes were super sweaty, and we put them outside of our tent to dry off and, to not get the smell in the tent. Didn't know this, but apparently cows are attracted by the sweat in your clothing. So we had hung these clothes outside of our tent, and at about 12 o'clock at night, we hear this like ramming sound, and it was a cow like attacking our tent. So luckily we had two entrances, so we exited out of the back, ran out, and spent the better part of an hour trying to be like a matador to get this cow to get away from us. We were like flinging, like moving clothing, trying to distract him, anything to get him to go away. Eventually, like an hour later, the cow left. We finally laid down in the tent to go to sleep, and an earthquake happens. It was the first earthquake I'd ever felt in my life. I was about 20 feet from an active volcano. I thought I was going to die. It was really scary. We all grabbed our shoes, like we thought we were going to run away from this eruption or something, like we had a chance, but thank goodness nothing happened. That was definitely my most memorable experience, being attacked by a cow next to a volcano. So, good times. My advice for anyone considering planning or teaching abroad, first of all, just do it. It is really, really easy, especially with the help of the International TEFL Academy. They will hold your hand if they need it, and they'll let you be independent if you want it to. But they have language schools all around the world, and if you can just get that certificate, they will give you invaluable experience and help you all around the way to find a job. I would definitely recommend teaching in Nicaragua. The people there are absolutely lovely. The community of people there is second to none. In Leon, Nicaragua, they have really made a community of English teachers. It is so easy to meet people, and like the coolest people you'll ever meet. Really like-minded people who love traveling, who love teaching, who want to do something productive with their time while at the same time exploring the world. And I was super fortunate that I picked Nicaragua, and I would completely recommend it to anybody else. I was super lucky as well to meet some really cool people who I'm sure I'll be friends with for the rest of my life. So I can't say enough good things about the International TEFL Academy.